Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How are you today? Before we get started, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, please do so, okay? All the information that you're going to need is in the description box below. Get a hold of me and Trish. We'll get you set up, okay? And it is TGIF. Yes, it is so exciting. We are going live tonight at 7 o'clock right here. Be there or be square. So, we have a lot to talk about today. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, first thing on the list. First thing on the list. Okay, so severe supply chain disruptions. Okay, we've been talking about this for quite some time, but it's, this is like the never-ending story. You know what I mean? So the severe supply chain disruptions forebode a brutal winter. Okay, this is what we mean when we talk about dark winter. Right on. So the brutal winter for markets, okay, for the consumer and everything else, okay, which could suffer from heightened uncertainty if Congress fails to raise debt ceilings, okay, if they don't follow through on their promises, okay, and things like that, especially when it comes to a December deadline. Right on. So, Citigroup CEO Jane Fraser told Yahoo Finance at its All Markets Summit, all right, she expressed optimism that the supply-demand imbalance could pass next year, okay, but acknowledged that disruptions could become more sustainable. She said, we're probably in it for a bit of a brutal winter, particularly in the energy markets, where there's also some challenges there, but it's not long-term structural stuff that we won't adjust to. This too shall pass, she said. It's going to pass probably in 2022. I call BS. I say that it's longer, but I'll shut up. So the remarks from Fraser echo recent sentiment from central bankers and other top CEOs who increasingly acknowledged that elevated prices will remain in the foreseeable future. Well, absolutely. I mean, I've heard people say 2023. I've heard people say, no, longer than that, longer than that, longer than that. Okay, well, you know what? Only time will tell. So, speaking on a panel last month, leaders of the Federal Reserve, because, they're so for the people, not so the European Central Bank, the Bank of England, and the Bank of Japan said that supply chain bottlenecks could cause heightened inflation. Could cause, it has caused. So for a prolonged period, but they signaled that prices would likely come down as pandemic-related supply disruptions return to normal. Nothing is returning to normal. Nothing. We've seen it. We're seeing it. We're feeling it. And it's killing the economy. So at the Milken Institute Global Conference, Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, okay, she echoed warnings of a persistent disruption, noting that the global chip shortage at the center of the supply chain bottleneck is going to take a long time to fix. All right. The U.S. and Canada each recorded inflation last month not seen for more than a decade. The U.S. reported a 5.4% rise in consumer prices, which amounted to a 13-year high for the annual rate. Meanwhile, Canada saw prices rise 4.4%. And this is compared to the same time last year at an 18-year high. Okay, so the question is, therefore, does this become something more sustained? But we won't know until next year. Because, if you own a business, okay, you always keep your books, right? And you look at what last year's books are compared to this year's books. Right on? We all do that. So it's the same thing, like even if you don't have a business, do you keep last year's bills to compared to this year's bills? I do that. You know, I think a lot of people do that. So, and then she goes on to say, I don't think it will become a big issue, but it certainly is something that's going to be choppy for the next while. Choppy? That's what you're calling this? It's choppy? It's not like it's a bad friggin' haircut, lady. Okay? This is people's lives that you're dealing with here. All right? It's not just you went into a low-grade hair salon, got a bad haircut, and say it's just hair, it'll grow back. No, no. Nay, nay, asshole. Okay? So, when describing potential upcoming market headwinds, Fraser also pointed to the approaching December deadline for Congress to raise the U.S. debt ceiling. Earlier in the month, the Senate reached an agreement to raise the debt ceiling by $480 billion, which Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, the one that said that this is all transitory, she needs another drink, and said that it would allow the U.S. to pay its bills through December 3rd. Well, December 3rd is only a few weeks away. Are you still saying all that this is all transitory? Yellen the felon. So, during a visit to the White House on October 6th, the day before the Senate agreement, Fraser urged an end to the impasse because we just cannot wait until the last minute to resolve this. No. But you know politicians, they wait until the very last second to resolve anything. Because it doesn't actually affect them, so what the hell do they care? They could give two shits about anything because it's not affecting their friggin' pockets. You know what I mean? So, speaking to like Yahoo Finance, right on, Fraser reiterated that call for a speedy resolution as the December deadline approaches. The move would prevent additional uncertainty amid an already murky near-term financial future with persistent inflation. Sweetheart, we're moving to hyperinflation. Alright? So we've stopped hearing people saying transition or transitory because it's a feeling a tad longer than that. Janet Yellen was the only one saying that it was transitory. It won't be helped if the U.S. debt ceiling situation doesn't get resolved on a more timely basis before December, she says. She's a whack job. And I'm going to say this, okay? I'm going to say this. Now, two things were brought to my attention, okay? And I'm going to leave the links in the description box below because I don't want to get copyrighted or striked again for even putting this in a video. So I'll leave the links in the description box, okay? These are two videos. One was made 3 years ago. The second one was made just a few days ago. And when I saw these videos, I said, because they were brought to my attention by a subscriber, I said, is this a joke? Please tell me you're joking. Because this is not something that should even, should be like said or even frowned upon, or what in God's name, who the hell, why would this even be said? So in the videos, one is from China, I'm guessing, or maybe Japan, I'm not sure, I can't remember, and the other one is German, I believe, and it's a German representative, and the other one is an Asian, I'll just say that, representative, speaking on how Americans are now starving. And we need to help Americans eat because they're all starving to death. And then they bring in an American child and say, in their language, don't you want to help this small American child? Look at them. Look at them. They're dying of starvation. Is this an agenda that they're trying to meet? And that's why these commercials are being ran in other freaking countries? And obviously, these commercials have been being run for quite some time, at least 3 years. The one video in German has been being run for quite some time. But the one in Asia, I can't remember if it was China or Japan, is being run for the past few days. So there's an agenda that has to be met. Remember I said a while ago that they have to starve us out? Okay, well, that's exactly what's going to happen. Because if other countries are now saying, look at this small American child, they're starving them to death. Oh my goddess. They're doing this in commercials now in other countries. So I want you to ponder on that. I want you to think about that, because this watch the 2 YouTube videos. Then I want you to come back here and I want you to tell me what your thoughts are on that. Are those 2 videos or those 2 commercials that are run in different countries where they created to meet an agenda? Because I need to know if I'm on the same mindset as you guys. I'm just saying. And then we'll talk about this even more tonight. Just saying. So, on to this one, okay? And, I mean, I don't know. Okay, so, shoppers, right, are already taking a hit at the grocery store. You've seen it. I've seen it. We're all feeling it, okay? Soon, even their cheapest meat prices are going to get expensive. So even like the cheapest ground meat, which is 80/20. Chicken thighs instead of chicken breasts. Okay, you know, whatever the case may be. Whatever the cheapest meats are, they're going to be just as high as a filet mignon or a New York strip or whatever the case may be. Whatever is the highest price of meat, I don't really know. I always buy the cheapest stuff. Why? Because I don't preferably care. As long as my family is fed, I don't care. You know what I mean? So, Tyson Foods, Conagra, and Kraft Heinz have notified their retail customers in recent weeks that they're going to be raising prices in January for some frozen and refrigerated meats. All right. So if you buy any products made by these companies, stock up now before the prices go up. Products that will see increases are Ballpark hot dogs, burgers, State Fair corn dogs, Jimmy Dean frozen breakfast, Hillshaw Farm sausage and lunch meat, and Hebrew National Oscar Mayer hot dogs. And this is according to the supplier letters to wholesale customers. Okay, so if you eat any of these products, stock up now, fill up your freezers. Matter of fact, I'm going to be buying a second freezer to put out in the garage. That is going to be my prepping item for the month of November. So, I mean, I'm not buying a big one like right now out in my garage. I got a 15 cubic foot. I'm buying a 7 cubic foot, one of the smaller ones to put out in it. So, you know, now that you know this, that the prices are going up in January, you still have a little bit of time. Get out to the store, stock up before the prices go up even more. All the packaged meat suppliers are coming to the price increase party. said a leader at one regional distributor to stores who spoke on the condition of to protect their company's relationship with suppliers. Okay, and prices for higher end meat cuts like steak, veal, pork chops have surged over the past year. But prices for cheaper meats like ground beef, lunch meat, have gone up slowly, while hot dog prices were like 1.2% lower. And this is according to the latest data, okay, from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But if top suppliers, customers, which include big box stores like Sam's, Costco, BJ's, Radon, supermarkets, drugstores, and others, okay, decide to pass on these latest increases, even the meat shoppers typically look to trade down to when prices rise will become costlier. And that may prompt some shoppers to avoid meat cases at grocery stores or turn to discount chains like Aldi's and dollar stores. And meat is the center of the plate for Americans. And these price increases will hit hard. But meat producers are hiking prices and reducing promotions on items to combat higher costs for commodities, packaging, labor, transportation, yada, yada, yada. Tyson sent a letter to at least 2 regional distributors in which it said that prices on Ballpark, Hillside Farm, Jimmy Dean, State Fair, and all deli meats will increase by a range of 5 to 10.2% by January 2nd. And this is for all retail customers. The distributors shared the letters with MSM, okay, on the condition of anonymity. We will continue to face accelerating levels of extraordinary inflation. Extraordinary inflation? No, baby, this is called hyperinflation. Okay? That's where we are headed as a country. The sustained duration and significant impact of the inflation necessitates additional pricing action. A Tyson spokesperson said in an email that the company was carefully managing these inflationary pressures through pricing actions and efforts to reduce costs. You just said you're taking this inflation and handing it out to customers, but now you're making efforts to reduce costs. You're contradicting yourself. Conagra alerted one of the distributors this week that it will hike prices starting January 24th for varieties of Hebrew Nation hot dog packages, such as beef franks, 97% fat-free beef franks, and jumbo beef franks, as well as quarter-pound bun-length beef franks. The price increases range from 10.9 to 12.6%. In the letter, Conagra said it was cutting costs throughout the operations, but the sustained increase in packaging and ingredients will require the company to raise prices. A spokesperson for Conagra did not say how many retail customers were notified of price increases. Now, Kraft Heinz said in a November 1st letter to retail customers that it will raise prices of varieties of Oscar Mayer beef, lean beef, and Angus hot dogs, as well as cheese dogs, around 8%, effective as of January 9th. A spokesperson for Kraft Heinz said the price increases applied to all of the company's retail customers. The company has increased prices by an average of 5 to 80% of its products. You're raising the price 5% on 80% of your products? Wow. But this is to help offset the escalating inflation that the entire industry is facing. The spokesperson said that at the time, Kraft is also introducing more affordable price points and value sizes on brands such as Lunchables. Okay, so value sizes, so shrinkflation. That's all you had to say. Man, shrinkflation. It's easy as that. One word. Price increases on meats and other grocery store staples may force changes to consumer behavior and pose a threat to supermarkets. When prices at customers' regular stores become unaffordable, they are more willing to leave the store for cheaper ones. That's the big unspoken danger here that many retailers are worried about right now. We could see some big retail market share shifts starting next year. Yeah. Oh, Lord. All right, guys. That's all for this video. All right. I'll see you later on tonight. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. All right. You stay safe. You stay positive. Keep prepping. Buy more meats before January. Get an extra freezer if you can, okay? And as always, fearless.